They were punching and kicking him relentlessly, and all the students stood by, silently witnessing the brutal beating. Not a single person dared to step forward and offer help. When the bell rang, everyone hurried back to their classrooms. The boy remained on the ground, covered in bruises. I wanted to help him, but fear of the consequences gripped me tight, and I couldn't muster the courage to step forward and offer my help. All my life, I have been a coward, unable to protect, defend, or fight for myself. Offering him help would make me the new target of the bullies, and I fear that I will not be able to protect myself so like everyone else. I abandoned him, leaving him helpless, and reluctantly walked into my classroom. The guilt weighed heavy on my heart, but the fear of facing consequences paralyzed me from doing the right thing. Class, since today marks the beginning of the academic year, I extend a warm welcome to each one of you. Since now are the senior-most batch in the school, therefore I expect you to have some maturity. Put an end to fighting and bullying amongst yourselves, and focus on your studies to get into a good college, the principal said, addressing us. Also, we have a new student. Please come forward and introduce yourself, she said, looking in my direction. Nervously, I stood up from my seat and walked towards the board. Hello, everyone. I am YN. I am new here. I hope to befriend each of you, I said with my heart thumping loudly in my chest. I am delighted to share that Miss YN is the state topper, and she has earned a 100% scholarship to be here. She has excelled in all subjects, and therefore I urge each one of you to learn from her and befriend her, the principal proudly announced. Please take your seat, YN, she added, directing me to my place. As I was walking to my seat, I accidentally bumped into someone's chest. I lost my balance and fell hard to the floor. Surprisingly, the boy just stood there, unmoved. Jungkook, be more careful when you walk. Look at how you've hurt YN, the principal scolded. I am sorry, Grandma, Jungkook said, offering a hand to help me up. When I looked at his face, I realized he was the bully who had attacked another student just a few moments ago. I am your principal here, not your grandmother, the principal told him firmly. I know, Grandma, Jungkook replied playfully. As they were talking, I quickly got up on my own. I was hesitant to take his hand, and it could potentially make me his next target. It's partly my fault. I should have been more careful, I admitted to the principal without looking at Jungkook. Both of you, go take your seat, the principal instructed tiredly. I walked back to my seat. Jungkook, you'll sit with YN. This is your final year, and I want you to focus on studying, earning good marks, and getting into a good college based on your own merits, not your dad's money, she said strictly. Okay, Grandma, Jungkook quickly replied, even giving her a quick kiss on the cheek. Jungkook, we are in school, she said, annoyed, but there was affection in her eyes. As Jungkook walked towards me and took the desk behind me, my blood ran cold and I felt uneasy on the idea about having to sit with him. As soon as the principal left the class, a group of boys came in and swapped seats with the students around me. I realized that they were part of the bully gang, likely Jungkook's friends, and they swapped their seats so that they could sit together in a group. I never mind where anyone sits, but now, when I found myself completely surrounded by these bullies, I felt trapped since I couldn't change my seat due to the principal's order to sit with Jungkook. My heart pounded heavily every time they laughed loudly and chatted among themselves. I could not sit and focus on my studies, knowing that behind me were the same boys who punched and kicked another boy senseless a while ago. How could they laugh and have fun just after beating up somebody? I wondered. As the bell for the lunch rang, all the bully boys from behind me got up and left the classroom. This finally relaxed me, and I let out a breath of relief. However, as I took out my lunchbox and looked around, a sense of sadness washed over me. I saw everyone busy in their own group of friends. I felt really lonely. But then I saw a group of girls looking in my direction and smiling. It encouraged me, and I decided to approach them and make friends with them. Hello, may I join you guys? I asked with a smile. They exchanged confused glances, and I began to doubt my decision. Sure, join us, one of them finally said. Relieved, I smiled. Hi, I am Yoshi. I am Jinny. I am Suzanne. And I am Sheer. Each of them introduced themselves one by one. "Hello, I am YN. Nice to meet you," I said happily, grateful to have found some company. "So where did you study before this?" Shri asked as we began eating our lunch. "I grew up in an orphanage and I used to study at the orphanage school," I shared with them. They looked at me with confusion. "It is not possible to afford John Institute. How did you get into this school?" Yoshi asked. I explained, "Oh, that's because I got the highest score in the state-level exam. Chairman John approached me and offered me a 100% scholarship. However, since I still couldn't afford everything, he therefore decided to provide me with a monthly stipend to cover my expenses, such as food, clothes, and other necessary things." From their expressions, I could tell they were shocked to hear my story. Just as I was about to say something, Ginny spoke up. "Look at Lee. Today he got beaten by Jungkook and his group." "When did it happen?" Sujan asked curiously. "This very morning," Sheer replied. "Why did no one stop him or complain about him?" I asked with concern. They laughed at my question. "He is John Jungkook. This is his school, and his father is the chairman and trustee of the school, while his grandmother is the principal." "Nothing will happen to him," Yoshi explained, making it clear that he had powerful connections and was seemingly untouchable. "But this is so wrong. People like him should get punished," I insisted. Ignoring my words, Yoshi said, "I am done eating my lunch. Let's go show you our school." "Okay, let's go," I agreed, quickly finishing the rest of my food before joining them to explore the school. It was all fun and joy to explore the school. We visited the auditorium, then the library. I have never seen such a big and beautiful infrastructure in my life. Our school was very small and old, I told them. "We have a special space," Yoshi said, pulling me into an open area. "This is my favorite place," Suzanne added. "And mine too," Ginny and Sheer said together. "This looks kind of dirty. What is so special about it?" I asked, confused. "This is the place we bully," Sheer said, pushing me down. "Since there is no camera here, we can do whatever we want," she added, smirking. Hearing them, I was terrified of what was to come next. I tried to get up, but Suzanne and Sheer held me tight, pushing me back to the ground. "I've loved Jungkook since childhood. How dare you talk about punishing him?" Yoshi shouted, slapping me across the face. Ginny strolled over and grabbed a sauce bottle from a box. "These are our secret weapons that we hid here," she said, picking up a hot red chili sauce bottle. "Yoshi, hold her mouth open," Ginny commanded, opening the cap of the bottle. Yoshi forcibly opened my mouth, and Ginny poured its content deep inside my throat. Sheer and Suzanne laughed, relishing the moment while holding me firmly to the ground. The sauce was incredibly spicy, and my mouth started burning. "Water, water. Please, give me water," I pleaded. "Oh, our poor little state topper wants water now," Ginny teased me. "Never in your life talk about hurting Jungkook. I love him. He is mine and only mine," Yoshi shouted angrily, spitting on my face. They left, and I got up from the ground, rushing back to the classroom, tears streaming down my face. I desperately needed water, but there was none to be found. I searched for my bottle but couldn't locate it. It seemed to have disappeared. Just then, I heard a whistle, and when I looked in its direction, I saw Sheer slowly pouring my water into the dustbin. I couldn't take it anymore. Driven by pain from my burning throat and frustration, I decided to confront her. "Give my bottle back!" I demanded, my voice breaking into tearful cries. But deep down, I knew it was stupid to challenge her. Yoshi pulled me back just as I was about to approach Sheer, and she pushed me to the ground. Yoshi and Suzanne began hitting me with their legs. I could no longer handle all this. My throat and stomach were badly hurting as I drank a whole bottle of spicy sauce, and now them kicking me was just too much for me. My eyes started shutting on its own. I began losing my conscience. "What are you doing, Yoshi?" I heard the principal's voice. Anger was evident on her face. "All four of you meet me in my office," she said, gently helping me to get up. But I couldn't bear it any longer. I started losing my breath. Breathing became uneasy and difficult, and I struggled to hold my breath. "Grandma, please don't suspend me. I promise I'll never repeat it." Jungkook walked into the classroom pleading but stopped after seeing lying on floor. "Carry her to the dispensary immediately," the principal instructed Jungkook, who was standing beside her. I felt my body being lifted gently. It was the last thing I remember. To be continued. Thanks for watching. Turn on your notifications for next update. See you again. Take care.